Because if you speak, if someone says, hello, you don't go, hello. You go, hello, hello. Auf Wiedersehen. Auf Wiedersehen. So it's just a matter of hearing and repeating the same melody. But somehow or other, some people it's easy to speak, but if you sing it, they sing something different. Jai. Okay, let me get out of here. So we're reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. I start reading the Bengali. Thank you. From text 195, and then the purport is at 197. So I'll just read this by myself, yeah, and then at 197 you repeat. Tumhara nama lane tumhara karila nindana se nama haila tara muktira karana. Jagai Madai uttered your holy name by way of blaspheming you. Fortunately, that holy name became the cause of their deliverance. Jagai Madai haite koti koti guna adama patita papi ami dui janna. We too are millions and millions of times inferior to Jagai and Madhai. We are more degraded, fallen and sinful than they. 197. Please repeat. Mileche jati. Milecha sevi. Kari. Milecha karma. Go. Brahmana. Drohi. Sange. Amara. Sangama. Milecha jati, milecha sevi, kari, milecha karma. Shall I do it slower? Milecha jati, milecha sevi, kari, milecha karma. It's a different one?
It's not on the screen.
Okay. It's about milechas. About us. We're talking about us. Milecha jati, milecha sevi, kari, milecha karma.
Milecha jati, milecha sevi, kari, milecha karma.
Go brahmana droi sangha, sange amara, sangama. Let me do it one time more. Go brahmana droi sange, amara sang. No, that doesn't work. Go brahmana droi sange, amara sangama.
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 Milecha jati, milecha sevi, kari, milecha karma.
Milecha jati, milecha sevi, kari, milecha karma.
Go brahmana drohi sange, amara sangama.
Go brahmana droi sange, amara sangama.
Milecha jati, milecha sevi, kari, milecha karma.
Milecha jati, milecha sevi, kari, milecha karma. Go brahmana drohi sange, amara sangama.
Milecha jati, milecha sevi, kari, milecha karma.
Milecha jati, milecha sevi, kari, milecha karma.
Go brahmana drohi sange, amara sangama.
Mataji's. Milecha jati, milecha sevi, kari, milecha karma. Gaura Brahmana Drohi Sanghe Amara Sangrama. Milecha jati, milecha sevi, kari, milecha karma. Milecha jati, milecha sevi, kari, milecha karma. Gaura Drohi Sanghe Amara Sangrama. Gaura Drohi Sanghe Amara Sangrama. One more. Milecha jati, milecha sevi, kari, milecha karma. Milecha jati, milecha sevi, kari, milecha karma. Who knows the first line by heart by now? Very good. So, but instead of just try to learn it, let it go into your mind and try by repeating it that you see if you can know it by heart. And this way you keep your intelligence engaged rather than yeah. So in this way, you know, you also learn your vocabulary of Bengali or Sanskrit in other cases. You learn more and more words, and you sharpen your mind. Yeah, right. Milecha jati, belonging to the meat eater caste. Milecha sevi. What do you think is that?
It's written.
Oh, don't look at the board. At least you're honest. Some people are just reading it and act like they know it. Servants of the meat eaters. Like Sevi, Seva, you know, put the deity Seva. Can you do some deity Seva? No. Okay. Kari. We execute. Milecha karma. The work of meat eaters. Go. Cows. Brahmana. Brahmanas. Drohi. Those inimical to. Sanghe. With. Amara. Our. Sangama. Association. Translation. Actually, we belong to the caste of meat eaters because we are servants of meat eaters. Indeed, our activities are exactly like those of meat eaters. Because we always associate with such people, we are inimical towards the cows and brahmanas. Purport, Srila Prabhupada. There are two kinds of meat eaters. One who is born in a family of meat eaters, and one who has learned to associate with meat eaters. From Srila Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, formerly Davira Kas and Sakara Malik, we can learn how one attains the character of a meat eater simply by associating with meat eaters. At the present moment in India, the presidential offices are occupied by many so-called Brahmins. But the state maintains slaughterhouses for killing cows and made propaganda against Vedic civilization. The first principle of Vedic civilization is the avoidance of meat eating and intoxication. Presently in India, intoxication and meat eating are encouraged, and the so-called learned Brahmins presiding over this state of affairs have certainly become degraded according to the standard given herein by Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. These so-called Brahmanas give sanction to slaughterhouses for the sake of a fat salary, and they do not protest these abominable activities. by deprecating the principles of Vedic civilization and supporting cow killing, they are immediately degraded to the platform of milechas and yavanas. A milecha is a meat eater, and a yavan is one who has deviated from Vedic culture. Unfortunately, such milechas and yavanas are in executive power. How then can there be peace and prosperity in the state? The king or the president must be the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When Maharaj Yudhishthira accepted the rule of Bharatvarsa, formerly the entire planet, including all the seas and land, he took sanction from authorities like Bhishmadev and Lord Krishna. He thus ruled the entire world according to religious principles. At the present moment, however, heads of state do not care for religious principles. If the religious people vote on an issue, even though it be against the principles of the Shastras, the bills will be passed. The president and heads of states become sinful by agreeing to such abominable activities. Sanatana and Rupa Goswami pleaded guilty to such activities. They therefore classified themselves amongst the milechas, although born in a Brahmin family. Nityananda Vatandu Vasuda Prana Vallabha Janaviji Vidapati Krishna Prema Padapavu Padmavati Sutan Srivan Satyananda Puva Jobavoma Goya Gatarak Gora Kripa Namo Mahavarayaya Krishna Prema Padayade Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gora Trisena Maha Tapta Kanchana Gora Engi Radhe Vindavanis Vari Vris Sabana Sutta Devi Panavi Haripri Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dino Bandhu Jagatpati Gopisha Gopaka Kanta Radha Kanta Ramosti Mogen mij de wij gopen met in dat die dijkers naar goven daar morgen. I'd like to offer my obeisances unto the speaker, unto Chaitanya Tamrita, Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of music and learning, and unto Srila Prabhupada, by whose mercy we have gathered here and are able to hear about these wonderful pastimes of the Supreme Lord. I'd like to have the blessings of the Maharaj and of all the Vaishnava devotees that I can speak something which might be a little enlightening to all of you. Thank you very much. So this was written, a few decennias ago. And so Prabhupada was writing about in India that the so-called leaders are, very degraded. But nowadays we have a nice prime minister in India. He has visited several temples, and he tries to ban cow slaughter. So times are changing, but you don't know. Many people are against it, of course, because they are attached to eating meat, and there's Muslims also living in the country. So I don't know how it will be evolved. But it's said that the leaders, the king, he gets, I think it was he shares in the karma of his citizens. So if they do nicely, he gets their benefit, and if they perform sinful activities, he gets part of the sin. And that's why in the old day, in days of yore, then whenever there was a culprit, then he had to come to the king, and the king, if it was a thief, he cut off his hand, and if he was a murderer, he was killed, like that. And nowadays we say, this is very heavy, and why? Because they're afraid that their hands will be cut off for stealing. But now what they do, they give a murderer, 2 years or 7 years prison, and then they come out of prison, and they just recently, someone was in prison, and he was released, and he killed another person. So like that. And because if you think that you're this body, then you think, you should give him another chance. But if you know that we are a spirit soul, and that by killing him, he will be freed, he or she will be freed from their karma, and in the next life they have, they start all over. But if you're giving a lifelong imprisonment, they still will be suffering the result of killing someone at the end of their life with the Yamadutas. So it's better to, to kill a murderer, and in this way, the government spends so much money in the prison, on prison, more, almost as much as, or more than on defending the country and like that. But of course, in prisons, devotees are also made, because there's also a prison ministry, and they give out free books, and from that, devotees, some, they have a change of heart by hearing and reading, and say, and that there's great. Now we all were like milechas previously, and we still have some qualities of it, and but even great demons, they were changed. Like the Ramayana was spoken by Valmiki, and Valmiki, he was a robber. He was robbing people. In the old days, when you travel to the holy place, then they're in the bushes, because there were only bushes there were no guest houses, etc. Suddenly did someone come, your money or your life, like that. And that happened in Germany also, Holland, France, everywhere. And what I wanted to say? Yeah, so Valmiki was like that. And Narada Muni, he told them, chant Mara. So Mara means death, because he couldn't chant Ram. Okay, chant Mara. Okay, so he went Mara, 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 and he was chanting that for a long time, and then all the knowledge of the Ramayana was revealed to him, and he could exactly write what Lord Ram was thinking, everything. Sometimes you think, when you read a book, how is it possible? How do they know what happened or exactly? But it is revealed. It is revealed to the author. Just like you can't become Krishna conscious. You can become little Krishna conscious, but you don't become completely Krishna conscious by just reading it, or just you become Krishna conscious by the mercy of the Lord. He reveals in your heart, he makes things clear that you understand it. And the Lord in your heart, Paramatma, he guides you. He guides you for spiritual things, but also for material things. So that don't forget your passport, or like material things. But he only says it once. If you don't write it down, he doesn't say it again. So he always, when there is a thought coming in, sometimes it's your own mind, but sometimes it's an advice. Then you have to write it down that you don't forget it, because it's Paramatma speaking you to warn you, be careful for this, or why don't you do this, or like that. It's the Lord speaking, and how more you listen to him, how more his voice becomes clearer, and he cares about you. So I have personal experience, like that. And one time, what's so funny, I was thinking of something that I should get. And then a neighbor knocked on my door, the wife of my neighbor, and she said, can you use this? And exactly the thing I wanted. Then I came back from abroad for like 3 weeks, and my palm tree had gone like this. So I thought, I need to get a new palm tree. And then I walked out, and there was a palm tree with some dead leaves, but I cut them off, and it was again a big palm tree. And something else happened, and I was thinking, oh gosh, I don't want to think of anything anymore. But I don't want you to be the provider, like that. And that just happened for a week or so, a few days. And why? Because Krishna showed me that he knows what I'm thinking of. It's very sweet. And so since then I completely faith, that he knows exactly what I want, or what my needs are, my desires. And then he tests you, Krishna consciousness is very nice in the beginning. But And at the end, it's blissful. I'm not there, but I'm just saying it described that it's very, very blissful. But in between, it's a struggle. And why do you think? Who can tell me why it is a struggle?
Because we learned
Louder.
Because we learned a lot of things that are completely against Krishna consciousness in our life. No. Anyone? Why is it so easy when you join? Everything is new and fresh and everything is easy. Then afterwards it's so difficult, so this is a problem. Anyone? It is because he's purifying you and Maya is testing you. And Maya only allows a pure devotee to enter, to be Krishna's associates. And so in the beginning, you're like a baby. And so she leaves you alone. But when after a few years, you can stand on your own feet, then she tests you with sex, drugs, fame, adoration, profit. And then the devotees don't work with you, the temple president, oh God, the volunteers, no one wants to do this service. Oh Krishna, Sankirtan, no one takes this book. Cooking, the heater is not working, the fridge is broken, oh, it's so difficult. Because he's testing you, he wants you to surrender. I myself hate to surrender, but you're forced to surrender. I have a wonderful life. I perform and I sing and I act. I was here, the last time I was here was when Damayanti invited me for the anniversary of the death of the daughter. So then I asked devotees, I want to go to Simhachalam. Who's going to Simhachalam? Who wants to take part in a dramatic reading of the appearance of Lord Nrsimhadev? Me. And who wants to take part in the Govardhan musical? Me. So I had different people and I practiced with them. I had video calls with them. And then someone says, I'm not going actually. It was one of the main parts. I'm not going, but with my mother-in-law is in hospital and I can't make it. And even I'm not going. And someone else said, Prabhuji, and he was so good. I had a good rehearsal of 3 hours with him to be one of the teachers on Gopa. And he said, I can't do it. He never told me why, but he had mental problems. So, and then others, I'm writing to everyone who's going to sing Hachalam. And then at one point I said, just give up. And then, some other Vedasara Prabhu showed up, but he was very enthusiastic. And he found me different people from Vienna and from here and from there. And so now I have a whole group of gopis and gopas and like that. And the dramatic reading, I didn't have an Nrsimhadev, I didn't have a narrator, and they all showed up by Chris's arrangement. So I'll go there, but there's no stage. Previously there was a stage in the tent, so now it will be in the temple room. I don't know how it will be. But so I'm going just depending on Krishna. One time, another story about my life, which is so nice, can be so that I became angry at Krishna. Yes. So, one time I played at the Rath Yatra in Copenhagen, The Boatman and the Scholar, with an Indian devotee from London. So then after a few years, I got an email from him. He said, Prabhu, would you like to come to Johannesburg for Rath Yatra? On the 2nd of December, we will have Rath Yatra. I thought, oh, that is nice, 2nd of December, nice, warm. They pay my ticket. Yes! He said, if you can find me one Mataji, who is smart and, together, then I can do my Sankirtan Girl Meets Dracula play, which is a 10-minute skit in which the Sankirtan Girl meets Dracula and she tries to preach to him and he's and she defeats each of his arguments from a verse from the second canto, second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. She says, "My most beautiful one, you are such a feast for the eyes, and what to speak of the tongue." And she says, of all the senses, the tongue is the most voracious and difficult to control. But how can you speak of me of control with the mere sight of you fills me with lusty desires? It is lust, which is the all-devouring sinful enemy of this world. You make me so angry I could bite you. Yes, from lust anger arises, from anger bewilderment of memory, memories bewildered, intelligence is lost, and thus one falls down into an tearless pool. You see, it's a very risky business. If anyone is taking a risk, my dear, it is you. Obviously, you don't know who I am. Obviously, you don't know who you really are. I don't know who I am. Let me tell you, I'm Dracula, Prince of Darkness. Surely you are in darkness, for only an ignorant person considers himself to be his body and his place of birth as worshipable. You think you're so smart. Then tell me, if I'm not Count Dracula, who am I? Sir, your human life has just begun. Human life? I haven't known human life for over 500 years. Never mind that. Tato Brahma Jigyasa. A tomato what? A Tato Brahma Jigyasa. That is Sanskrit. Anyway, so I did that play. So he found me a girl. And I said, if you find some dances, I can do some of my songs. And we have a chorus like that. He says, yes, yes, yes. So I said, great, you know. Johannesburg, I've never been in South Africa. December, nice, warm, nice. So he found me people, and then after a while, the Sankirtan girl couldn't make it. So he found me another girl, and then she also couldn't make it. And he found me like 5 or 6 people in the chorus. I sent them all the audio files, the lyrics. Only 3 replied. Then he found me a 3rd Sankirtan girl, and then just a few days before me going there, he wrote, the only person I know there, the one who invited me, he said, "Prabhu, I'm so sorry, I won't be here. I've just got a job in somewhere, another country. I won't be there." And I thought, oh no, I don't even want to go there anymore. And I said, "Krishna," and then I became angry at Krishna. "Krishna, why is this? I'm trying to spread your holy name, the knowledge of you, and it's like you're sabotaging me." And then I was thinking, oh, maybe you have a plan. Maybe you want someone else to do that part, because if they do that part, they have to learn the Sankirtan girl, they have to learn the 2nd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita by heart, you know. And this boy, and they have to come to the temple to practice after the Sundar Arti. So I say, I'm not going to be angry anymore. I'm going there with the flow. I do my utmost best, but if it doesn't work out, you know who's to blame. In other words, it's your fault. I leave it up to you. I give myself. If it doesn't work out, you know, what can I do? You know, I told him, I've been doing drama for 40 years and only 10 times I've been afterwards, it was nice. Generally it goes, oh, this didn't go well, this is go well like that. So then I went there. I had 3 persons for the chorus. I arrived on a Monday. I said, okay, to the 3, I said, let's practice. And they said, I'm sorry, Prabhu, we have a preaching engagement tonight. My mind goes, Then I go, okay, I'm coming with you. So I go with you, I gave talk, and then afterwards I said, anyone here who likes to take part in the chorus, a Grihasta couple, raised their hands. So I had 5 people. So we started practicing. One girl was very good. The next day I got a phone call of a father. Prabhuji, sorry, my daughter failed their exams, so she can't be in the performance. So I was down to 4 and I needed 10. So I'm writing to everyone in South Africa and asking, please, do you know anyone who can? It's about time. No, I'm just joking. I'm a joker, sorry, I can't help it. Sorry, Papa. And it's freezing cold. Papa said, you should take it out of the freezer before. Oh, if I get a cold. It's nice though. The deities look gorgeous, by the way, you know. And it's so nice because years ago I asked them, please give them a garland every day, you know. And then when the minister of deity worship came, he also told that, and now they're wearing it and looks so nice. And Tulsi Maharani looks so healthy, and when Tulsi Maharani looks that nice, that means temple life is doing well. If Tulsi is going like this, then something wrong somewhere. So this temple is doing very nicely, and I'm always very happy to come here. So I started to rehearse. And, oh yes, so he found me another person to replace him as the boatman and the scholar. We were going to do the boatman and the scholar. And he said, yes, Prabhu, I'm going to come. And then one day before he said, oh, sorry, I promised my friend to go on a holiday for a week, but I'm coming, I'm learning the lines. But, so every time I thought, when I go, my mind goes, I go, no, I just go with the flow. And then the performers were all excellent. One of the best performances I ever did. So then I was invited to go to Vrindavan to perform. And I thought, well, I'm going to perform. I was attached. I thought many God brothers will come. I will get many invitations. So I must put on a good show. So I went there and it was a horrible show. I was singing with a video. Suddenly I realized the video wasn't working. And people didn't show up, and because I was attached to the result, I was thinking, I am the doer, you see? So in order to we have to become peaceful, and in order to become peaceful, because the conscious, you have to work as hard as you can, but you have to leave the result to Krishna. No, he is in the heart of everyone. He can tell them, please, go to the president and ask if he can help him, or please tell the president that you would like to do some paint the temple or whatever, you know. He's in the heart of everyone. You just have to desire to increase your service. You know, one time I was head pujari in the manor, and I am very, I said that, matching things, everything. So he had a golden flute, Gokulananda, but when I came there, it was scraped here, his skin, the marble. And I didn't want to put it in, but I like to have a golden flute. And then one day I came out after midday arti, and on the money box was some hot pink paper, which means gold. With the jewelry, they put hot pink Indian jewelry. And it was a very thin gold flute. And so I was thinking, Krishna. And then I was thinking, I wish I had golden ankle bells. Then one jeweler, a female jeweler, Indian also, devotee, not devotee, but full devotee, but always coming to the temple. She said, Prabhuji, I would like to offer something for Janmashtami to Krishna. I said, how about golden ankle bells for Gokulananda? She said, oh yes. So she came on Janmashtami and she gave golden ankle bells. So I put them on to Gokulananda, and she was like, oh, she was so in bliss that she said that she made golden ankle bells for Sita, Konitai, Sitaram Lakshman. I don't know if Hanuman, maybe Hanuman too, for all the deities. So if you desire, Prabhupada said, you know, like sometimes devotees worry about money, Lakshmi, but Lakshmi is the wife, the consort of Krishna, and she can bestow mercy, you know, but it will come. One time there was a temple, and there was hardly any money. They didn't know how to pay the rent for the next year, for next month. Suddenly a man came, puts an envelope there, exactly the amount. And another time, someone on Sankirtan said, just a man in suit came, said, here. Also the same amount. So everything is possible. You have to think big and desire, and you just want to serve and do something wonderful. And if you don't do it for fame or prestige or for money, then it will come to you. Because Krishna likes to, he likes to serve his devotees, to serve him. And it's like that. So here, Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, they were from a very high Brahmin caste, the Saraswati Brahmins. Of the Brahmins, they're very different groups, and Saraswati is one of the highest. But somehow or other, they found a job, not somehow a job, they were ministers. One was Minister of Finance, and what was the other minister? Interior, one was Finance, and one was either Internal Affairs or something very close to the king, to the not king, what's his name, Kavi, or anyway, who was a Muslim. So that's why all the Brahmins, they went like, they didn't want to associate with them anymore, because at those times the Brahmin castes were very, like a normal person couldn't even stand on their shadow, Muchi, go away, good, Brahman, I'm coming. So they were very puffed up, instead of being very humble and learned, but they became puffed up. I'm a Brahmin, I'm very learned, I'm qualified. But that's not really what a Brahmin is, So the Bhagavad, let me see, till what time is it? Till 9 o'clock? Yeah. So the Bhagavad Gita says, what do I want to say? It describes the qualities of a Brahmin, a Kshatriya, a Vaishya, and a Sudra. But it also says that you are what your qualities is, not where you're born in. And have a beautiful outfit as well, everything matching. It's one thing, these flowers at Pujari, any Pujaris here? These flowers which are painted, sprayed with paint, you shouldn't offer them for arti because then they will smell like paint. Only unpainted sprayed flowers. It looks nice for decoration with these blue ones, and especially white carnations, these have a nice scent. They're only carnation who have a nice scent. And like that. Anyway, but for arti, you shouldn't offer them. So it makes sense, right? Right? Yes, everything makes sense in Krishna consciousness. You have to use your common sense, like that. So where am I? So you are what your qualities is, and fathers become very frustrated if their son is different than them. Like if the father is a general, right, soldier, and his son is a poet, he doesn't like that, be a man, like that, or so. But you are. That's why Krishna consciousness. We are born mlechas, family of meat eaters, and we have become Krishna conscious. Somehow or other, and so now we are transforming slowly into, Vaishnavas. So, like I said, in the beginning, it's very easy, but in the middle, Krishna is testing you, trying, so like you are a piece of black coal, from the mind. Do you understand me? If you don't understand, then just put your hands up and I'll repeat it or explain it, So, you have to become a diamond. So what you have to do to make a coal into a diamond, what has to be done? Louder. Yeah, what else? And then after it becomes a kind of cloudy kind of stone, what then? How to make it shiny? You have to cut it. Ow! Ow! It's all a living entity too, all the jewels, they have also energy, I'm wearing this to become peaceful. Does it help? A ruby makes you fiery. If you're lazy, like that, you use a ruby, you go, like this. And so Baba says, you know, everything is a living entity, but they go very dull. You know, if you kick a stone, he doesn't go like this, or he doesn't jump on your toe to retaliate. You know, if you kick him, no, they can't. But they are living entities. Mountains are growing, you know, and stones also grow. So like that. So what was I saying? So the diamond, in order to make this shiny diamond, it has to be cut and doing all kinds of things, and then it's suddenly a sparkling jewel. So we, in order to become a pure devotee, we have to be, you know, we have to go through test, this test, that test, this test, and it's can I ever become a Krishna, a pure devotee? I don't think so. I can ever be a Krishna, pure devotee. Like that, isn't it? Do you feel sometimes like, I can never become a Krishna conscious completely? Yes?
Yes.
Most of you, right? It's like that. It's the middle. But you just have to plug on to continue, and take the test. And if you fail it, just get up and continue. Never give up. Because even if you think you can never become Krishna conscious, say like now you're 21% Krishna conscious, then if you think I can never become 100%, then try to become 30%. Because whatever you do in this life, you don't have to do in your next life. It's like that. You know, like if I want to travel to India, for instance, walking or whatever, you know, if I just stop halfway, no, I try to get a hitchhike or to get a job and pay for from Turkey to go to there and from like this. You just have to continue. You have to go to try to reach your goal. And sometimes it's a period that it's like stagnant, and sometimes things are flowing again, and it's a process, but you should never give up, you know. So Krishna consciousness is very easy in the beginning. When you chant Hare Krishna, it goes very easy. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. After a few years, you devoted Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, what will there be for prasadam? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. One time. So like, you know, it's all, because why? Why does this happen? Anyone? Use your brains. Don't be shy. Even if you say the wrong word, it doesn't matter. Why is it in the beginning everything is so easy, and then after a while, you know, the taste is not really there so much?
Like mechanical?
Huh?
Mechanical practice. Mechanical practice.
Louder.
Like mechanically do things.
You do it mechanical, and what else? What's stopping you?
Losing appreciation.
Also, and what else?
Not attentively.
Huh?
Not attentively. Without attention. Chanting unattentively.
Now I'm looking for, yes?
At the beginning we have enthusiasm, and this after a few years we lost the enthusiasm.
The what?
Enthusiasm.
The enthusiasm, you're losing enthusiasm. But also you make offenses. In the beginning, I write songs about everything. So when I was young, I thought it would be easy to become a pure devotee in this life. Now I know it's not as easy as it seemed. Then I was so inspired, woke up way before 4. How I long to feel the way I used to feel, with only devotion for you. Then I was inspired, never felt tired, living a life of austerity, humbly following my authority. Oh Krishna, what happened to me? So you make offenses. In the beginning when you join, you see everyone Jai Prabhu, Jai Prabhu, Jai. Do you remember, Maharaj, that in the old days, whenever we pay obeisances, to each other, you know, like it's, oh, we were like one family, you know, when we come from Holland to Germany, you see, oh, another brother, you know, whenever Prabhupada was somewhere, we used to go, like in September we went to Germany, to Stockholm. Were you in Stockholm, Maharaj? Yeah, so I was there. Are you invited there to go there in September? Yeah. Me too, yeah. So, you know, and we were all young then, you know, 20. Someone is 28, he was very old. You know, it's very old. Generally we're 18, 19, 20, 22, 23. We're all young. And they were so, you know, they say that I'm very enthusiastic, right? You're right? You think, right? If you ask me, Parividha, how would you describe? Oh, he's very enthusiastic. Well, there were devotees who were more enthusiastic than me. And Mongol Arti, when they came back from Sankirtan, they were jumping and they were all hitting their heads over to the ceiling. And especially the Germans, Viva Shal, Viva Shena, Akrua, you know, and like that. And they were, especially the Germans, they were so fired up, you know, like that. So yeah. So in the beginning you see everyone as a pure devotee, Jai Prabhu, Jai Prabhu. But then afterwards you think, I wrote a song about that, you know. Bhakti Bobby is crazy and Robbie is so lazy. They don't get up before 4. I'm so glad I'm doing fine as I am always on time. Bhakti Whalen is way too fat and sailing. A space cadet. I'm so glad I'm not like them. Thank God I'm surrendered. I work as hard as I can. The classes here are boring. I can hear them so snoring. I can speak so much better than them. Those women are so loud and the pujari proud. I'm so glad I'm not like them. Thank God I'm humble and not like all of them. So making offenses against the devotee, Krishna doesn't like that. So he takes your taste away. So then the Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, like that. So if you notice something goes, you lose your taste, then you have to think, what am I doing wrong? If you think of your past, because why did you become a devotee? Because you were not happy outside. So why, if you become a devotee, why do you want to experience that again, what you've rejected already? Like you have chewing gum, and afterwards you put it here, and then you try, and let me see if there's some taste in it again. I used to do that, and then put it under my bed, and then eat it again. Like that, chewing the chew, Prabhupada said. So, what I wanted to say, yes. So we were at that. So offenses. So when you lose your taste, you have to think of, what am I doing wrong? There must be something I'm doing wrong. Have I offended someone? There's a story of, who was it? So he was so highly advanced. I think one of the Goswamis, he saw Krishna and Radharani, and he saw Krishna doing a branch of a tree. He went to the branch of a tree like this for Radharani. And then he let go, and Gauradesh went whoops in the air. And then when he saw that, he was laughing. At the same time, someone passed by, a sage, who was like funny walking. He was bent over, and the sage was thinking, he's laughing because I'm walking so funny. So then immediately, which Goswami was that? Rupa Goswami, one of the Goswamis? Do you know? Anyone? Rupa? Yeah, immediately the bliss went away. So he was wondering, because he didn't know. He didn't even see the man, because he saw Radha and Krishna. So then he was checking with, I think with Sanatan, with his elder brother, and said, I was this, and then suddenly it stopped. And I don't feel bliss anymore. And he said, maybe you have offended someone. You see, what you should do is invite all the sadhus from Vrindavan for a meal. And the one who doesn't show up, you've offended him. And he did. And this person didn't show up. So like that. So this way we have to be very careful. And we always stay respectful, especially to Prabhupada disciples. No, just okay. No, but to all the devotees, everyone, and also younger devotees, be nice. Sorry, I can't help. So it's like that. You have to be very, very careful. And you have to always be attentive for Krishna and Prabhupada. Also this morning when we were dancing in a circle, Maharaj and me, we were, just like when you do Tulsi Arti, you open up for Prabhupada, right? So when you, during the greeting of the deities, you should open up for the deities. Don't turn your back to the deities. You know, so don't go like here, then you open up and make a circle and go like this. So in this way, always, because we dance for them, not for only we have fun, for them, to give pleasure to them, also for ourselves, but we are his servants. So we should never forget for who we are doing this, like that. Because in order to become Krishna conscious, first of all, you have to become conscious. Conscious where your back is, where your feet are, like this, like that. 5 to 9 already. Any questions? Comments? Yes. Loud, loud.
Yes, thank you. For the class, Prabhu. You spoke of thinking big, and that Krishna is sending so many tests and everything.
Yeah.
That we should have a desire to contribute to Srila Prabhupada's mission and everything. So, but how can we be sure that if we have big ambitions, or let's say to recalibrate the big ambitions with the purity of devotion and service, that it's not mixed with some selfish motives?
You will know, because if you do it nicely, you will feel good. If you don't do it nicely, you won't feel good inside. If you do it purely for Krishna, you're completely satisfied and peaceful. And if you have ulterior motives, then you don't feel that bliss. And like I was saying, in the beginning, for me, because I'm a very doubting person, you know, I've never been, because they do it like this, that I do it. I ask, why do you do this? You know, why with the left side? Why this? Why this? And Krishna's very, very merciful. So I've told this story before. I'm a professional singer, yes. So for me, if someone sings flat, it's very painful for my ears. You know, it's one of the most difficult things to tolerate. You know, if someone plays off key or whatever. So then one time, so I joined in 73, and in 1975, my service was to take out a Sankirtan Harinam party, 2 devotees. I was a temple commander also, and I think the head pujari as well, and I was doing that too. And there was 2 devotees. One was a German Mataji, who was very, what we used to call spaced out, which means like, you know, not 100%, the mind is everywhere. She used to say, she was washing the pots, and used to say, everything is green. I don't know why, but and so she came out with me and a Belgian devotee who came from a psychiatric institute. Later, one time I saw him doing Sundar Arti, and he was going like this, and then he jumped off the roof, dead. Anyway, he was behind me, and a girl. People I wouldn't associate with if I would be as a non-devotee, but for service I have to, you know. And I felt, you know, if someone is angry at you, you feel it, even if he's standing behind you, right? You feel the vibration. Do you feel it if someone is angry? Yeah. So I felt his angry eyes in me, and I was thinking, oh, Krishna. Okay, let me go Hare Krishna. Then it started to rain. If it rains, and I'm at home, I don't go out. Even to do shopping, to eat, I eat whatever I have. I just don't like going out in the rain. And I was thinking, oh, Krishna, Hare Krishna. And then at one point, we were in a shopping street. I was here, she was there, and he was there. And we were all smiling. And I felt this much from the ground. Not that my feet were off the ground, I felt like that. I was in bliss. And since then, I've been in kirtans with Hansadutta, with Lokanath Swami, with the best of kirtan, with 300 devotees on Ratha Yatra, King's Day. And I'm happy, I'm blissful, but I never experienced that bliss which I experienced that time with those two devotees. There was no Madanga, just two cartels, with two people I don't like so much to associate with. And why? Why was that? Who can tell me? Why were we given this bliss by Krishna? Huh?
Surrendering.
Because I surrendered to everything what I didn't like, to the rain, to the people I didn't like, or didn't like, but wouldn't sit with or talk with. So that because I surrendered like that. And so in the beginning, Krishna gives you a taste. You know, like Tulsi Arti, when I came, I didn't bow down for Tulsi. I'm not going to bow down for a plant. So then one day there was a Tulsi, she was sitting in the sun, and I took a rest on the floor, and then somehow I felt her energy, and then okay. So Krishna, because I'm so doubting, I felt the energy. So one time then I developed faith, you see, and then you have complete faith. Because if you don't have complete faith, you will go away again. You will give up Krishna consciousness. There are godbrothers of mine who became a Muslim butcher or a devil worshipper. Can you believe it? They were once he was a sannyasi and he became a devil worshipper. So it can happen. It can happen. So Krishna consciousness it's the most, the perfection of human life. And to become, just a devotee is already rare, but to become a pure devotee, that is very, very rare. But, even if you think you never become a pure devotee, just continue and try to do as much as you can, because as much as you do now, you don't have to do in your next life. So thank you very much. We'll have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami ki. Gaur Premanande.
Thank you.
Jai Maharaj. If you are satisfied, then I'm satisfied. Hari Bol. So now you should be able to know how to work, so that when we sing a song, you can put a song on there. Yes. Bhaja Hore Manava. This